Hey guys, and welcome back to ScarletSprites. Today we're taking a look at my original Xbox, which has not been powered on in probably at least 12, 13 years. I totally forgot about this when I did the disconnected video about what consoles don't you have hooked up. Well, this was in a bin in the basement. I completely forgot about it. So it wasn't in the closet when I was going through the orange bin in that video. This wasn't in there. I had packed it separately and sadly kind of forgot about it. So instead of working on my panel for LI Retro via Uplink, which you should definitely check out come August 8th, we're going to take an unscripted look at what is on this original Xbox. All right, before we dive too much into this, let's take a look at the actual console itself. The first thing you'll notice is it's got this nice, clear, custom crystal shell on it. The other thing that you'll notice is I got this desktop fan inside here so that when you power the console on, it illuminates blue. I did, of course, replace the standard hard drive with a 250 gigabyte Western Digital. Obviously, the big addition to this is the Executor 2 chip inside, which has this nice little PCB mounted underneath the shell of the exterior. There's two different memory banks the chip can access. I have this currently set to 1, obviously. Flash protect so you don't accidentally write over top of your BIOS file. The last option here was probably the biggest for me back in the day, and that was the ability to turn the chip on or off. Having it off, the console behaves as though it is stock, and this was good for Xbox Live and to keep you from getting banned. Alright, so you see the Executor logo at the bottom of the boot screen for the Executor 2 chip that's installed in the console. Kind of forgot that that was actually the name of the mod chip until I booted this up. So launch DVD, back when you might have used your Xbox as a DVD player. Trainers, I don't know if I ever really used these. These I think are like overlays for different games, kind of like hacks, give you different abilities and whatnot. I never really, I mean, being a purist even back in the day, I never really did much with these things. So here's a Microsoft dashboard. I think this takes you back to the stock dashboard. Obviously reboot and a power off. Utilities, so flash BIOS, we're not going to do that. Skins, there's a bunch of different things in here. I don't even know what this purple skin is that I'm running is called, so I'm not going to change those either right now. What I'm mostly interested in are the games that I had installed on here. So, all right, let's look at emulators. I'm jumping all over the place here. Look at that. So probably about 15 years ago, Neo Geo on the Xbox, that's what I was using. That was my go-to. So yeah, here's all my Neo Geo games. This is how I was playing these things when I first got out of college. I was buying cartridges, which is funny. I had no way of playing them. Let's go ahead and see if we can get something to boot. Well, that doesn't look good. Alright, so I don't think, from what I recall, yeah, the analog stick does not work for this. So you're using the D-pad, that's okay. And what do I got? A fires. Oh, well, B is going to toss the grenade. I don't know, it definitely feels a little off. Like it's playable, obviously, and it looks like it's, you know, the frames and everything look pretty good, but there's something about it just, and you know, you guys can call this out. There's probably newer versions of MAME or whatever that run on Xbox, but I don't know if performance is improved or not, but yeah, it's okay. It's not, I don't know, just there's something a little clunky about it. It's probably the controller too. It's part of it. So all right, so I'm going to attempt to back out of this. Let me see if I can pull that off. There we go. Here's just straight MAME. All right, let's see if we can get one of these running. Man, I really love Donkey Kong 3. I like that it just dared to be different. Mortal Kombat 2. Let's see if that runs. That was quick. Type OK. Oh, I remember this. It's left and then right on the D-pad. How about that? It looks pretty good. I mean, it's a little overly smooth. I have no idea what the buttons are. Oh, timing's off on this one for sure. guys can probably see on the capture, hopefully, it just, yeah, it's this, I don't know if this is very playable. It's very choppy. Oh boy, buttons. Yeah, there's a lag. There's a lag. I don't know the controller, and yeah, the frame rate is messed up. So I would probably say at this point in my life in 2020, playing Mortal Kombat 2 on the Xbox is not a ideal experience. All right, let's get out of this one. I'm gonna go back up to the top. I was talking about Donkey Kong 3. Let me just own that. Vertical action, automatically adjusts. And this, I mean, feels pretty normal, as it should. There's nothing really exhaustive, I think, I mean, all right, that's on me. That's not the game or the lag or anything. That's on me. But yeah, there's nothing really from like a hardware perspective that's taxing the Xbox to run Donkey Kong 3 here. Stanley from Nintendo. I think this is the only game that Stanley has ever appeared in. So Nintendo, I would like an amiibo and possibly a Smash appearance. Just kidding. I don't play Smash. I don't really give a shit. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was a big arcade favorite of mine. It's also a really expensive game if you try to hunt that down from an arcade perspective. I don't know why that is. If it's just rare, or I played it a lot at the Harrisburg East Mall for all you locals. I mean, I just liked Indiana Jones. I don't know that it's that great of a game. The NES versions, I mean, it's similar, I guess, but I don't know. I was disappointed, I remember as a kid getting the NES version, but it's similar to this. Graphically, it's a little subpar, but I always like just getting to the mine car. Like, I don't even care about saving those kids. Fuck them kids. Yeah, like, this is all I wanted to do, was just ride a mine car and whip guards. Like, this should have been a game all on its own. Like, that's all I really want to do. And then it's over. All right, I think we're done with this. PC S Xbox. I'm gonna just admit I don't really know what this is. What the hell is this? Oh, I see. It's a PlayStation emulator. Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, and of course, Open Ice. Like, this just, I mean, this kind of like warms my heart. Like, I've always been loyal to the games that I really love. So like, I'm looking at this from 15 years in the past, probably, easily. And Open Ice, I mean, this was the game I played. This is the arcade game that I liked. I, loaded up here, played on the PlayStation emulator. Just always wanted it at my disposal, and here we are, 2020, and I've got the actual board for this running in an arcade in the basement. I don't know, like, it's kind of cool. It's a cool, like, little thing to, like, look back on your past and know that the stuff that you like has always kind of been the stuff that you like. So I'm getting a little nostalgic here. Maybe you guys aren't enjoying this as much as I am. There's John LeClaire. That's nice. John LeClaire is not on the arcade version for the Flyers, and some of the rosters are different too. Actually, Phoenix is on here. The Phoenix Coyotes. They're still the Winnipeg Jets on the arcade version. So this got a roster update, but yeah, the game in general is a little rough on the PlayStation. This definitely feels different, the PlayStation version versus the arcade, and there's certainly some bugs and stuff, and I know there's some wonky things with this game and saves and whatnot. It's kind of a shame it never really got a decent port, and at this point there's really no reason, well, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of reasons from a licensing perspective, I guess, why they're probably not able to put this out like on an eShop or whatever, but yeah, it's a cool game. Surreal 64, I mean, that's going to be an N64 emulator for sure. I've never been a huge N64 fan, so it's interesting to me to see what's on here. Pilot Wings, that was like a early purchase. Perfect Dark, Mario Party 3, Blast Corps. I really like that game. I know I rag on the N64 a lot, but again, just the games that I like are the games that I like. It actually looks really good. I'm surprised at how good this looks. So if you've never played this game, basically that that little convoy there, you gotta clear a path for it, because if it runs into anything, it blows up and then, you know, everybody dies. So like I gotta not run into it myself. All right, so it's telling me like, yeah, I gotta destroy that building or else the truck will run into it. So it's just a big game of like, you know, clearing a path for that truck, which sounds really simple, but it's also just a hell of a lot of fun. It's so awkward playing games that you're used to with a different controller in there. I just ran right into it. So that's that. Let's look and see like what Xbox games I actually have on here. 007. All right, Arena Football. That's a little surprising. I don't really remember Batman Begins. Blitz, of course, always a classic for me. Burnout 3, Burnout Revenge, Cabela's Outdoors Adventure. I remember playing that a lot, actually. Capcom Classics Collection, again, just makes me so happy to see that. Like, the stuff I love has always been the stuff I love. Capcom versus SNK, Crazy Taxi, Doom 3, NFL 2K5. I always liked the NFL 2K series and the NBA 2K series. More recently, I know those things are trash, but NHL 2K from Sega was great. Fable, FIFA Street, all this stuff is really like right in my wheelhouse. San Andreas, classic. House of the Dead 3, Indigo Prophecy, I vaguely remember that. Justice League, oh, here we go. King of Fighters, the Mega Man collection, Metal Slug 3 and 4 on Xbox, Midway Arcade Treasures. I mean, come on, guys. Like, this is all stuff that is just been with me for a long time. Like, stuff that has always interested me, and the arcade has always kind of been in my heart. NBA Street, NFL Street, Outrun 2, that's interesting because Retro Ralph was just asking me if I ever played this. I saw the arcade for sale recently and we just kind of were texting back and forth, but I'll boot this up in honor of Retro Ralph. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the big thing here is that hard drive that you install into the Xbox, you just loaded all the games up for Xbox on the hard drive and they just boot right from there, which is pretty sweet. It's also illegal at the time and maybe still is. So load time's a little bit improved. This actually looks pretty good. I'm really impressed with this. I don't know if this is the component cables, the television, the retro tank, but stuff looks really good. There's a little bit of force feedback with this too, which I kind of forgot about. You can feel that in the controller. It's vibrating. It's very weak though. It's probably the controller being on its last leg. But yeah, this game looks great. Shit, maybe I should have bought the arcade. I wonder how. I just had never. It was relatively cheap, but let's be honest. We got Virtua Racing down there, and Daytona now, and it's starting to get a little crowded. To be just, ooh, I didn't see that coming. To be buying stuff on a whim that I don't really have nostalgia for and don't really know, just seemed a little reckless, so I passed on it. But it is a Sega game. I don't know why I don't remember this. Yeah, Retro Ralph was speaking very highly of it, and maybe I'll leave this hooked up because this is really smooth. All right, enough of this. Yeah, I didn't even get to the bottom of the list, and I got distracted. So where were we? Outrun here. Oh, Panzer, Dragoon, Orta, King Kong. I don't really remember that. Prince of Persia 2, Snowblind. I remember a little bit. Oh man, and then all the Rainbow Six games on here. I was a big fan of that in college, and I tried to relive that on the Xbox when I got out of college. Sega GT Online, Silent Scope, again, more arcade stuff. SVC Chaos, man, this is all stuff that I just have always really. Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, Taito Legends, Tecmo Arcade Classics. I mean, man, I've always kind of been a retro gamer, I guess, at heart. Some of this Punisher was fun. I do remember that. You could put guys through like the mulcher in that game. That was kind of fun. Tiger Woods, Time Splitters. Yeah, some of this stuff I don't really remember. I'm interested in what's on these collections. Alright, so here we go. Battle Shark. Oh man, this is great. I forgot all about this. elevator action. Man, why don't I have my Xbox hooked up? This is so great. These are some really great cabinets. I love that the cabinets are shown there too. I forgot all about this. And like these are like the legit, like, I mean, they're not pictures, but like that is what like the Space Gun cabinet looks like. Somebody just had one of those for sale on Facebook. Yeah, this is great. I want to see what's on the other one now too. Let's load something up and just see how it looks. Alright, now insert coin is the white button now, not over on the side. But I gotta press start. Like an old man trying to reacclimate to the Xbox controller. So this reminds me a little bit of the SNK 40th collection on Switch. Just it's just a really nice presentation, and then you get the, oh boy, I guess I'm not supposed to shoot those people. Kind of forgot. Yeah, you get to see the cabinet. I don't know if there's a lot of history or artwork on here, but yeah, then you jump in, play the game. Gives you it's a you know, it's a little bit more of an experience and give you a little bit of a history lesson as opposed to just, you know, loading ROMs up on a Pi or whatever, which is certainly fine in its own right, but this has a little bit more appeal to it for me. All right, I'm gonna jump back. Oh man, nice. Kadash. Some of you guys know that on it's on TurboGrafx 16. Man, some of these are some niche games. Well, obviously not that one, but a lot of stuff on here that I haven't seen in an arcade in a while. And these things are getting a little bit more difficult to find, especially in original cabinets and whatnot, even if you can find the boards. Man, this really takes me back. This is really cool. All right, so get to the end here. Super Space Invaders. That is the Xbox from back in the day. I feel like this is a little bit of validation for me. I've always been an arcade guy, and even when I was modding my Xbox back in the day, it's all the arcade classics, the Neo Geo, of course. Kind of makes me a little nostalgic and puts a little tear in my eye. Like that's how I played those games back then, not knowing at this point. I've got a Neo Geo in the basement and been collecting games since I had this, but I had no way of playing them. So it's really cool, as well as the Capcom games and obviously the other arcade collections. So I don't know, hope this was interesting. It was fun for me. I was going to pull this out and do this anyway, so I figured I would just record it and show it to you guys. Thanks so much for watching today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you all next time. Also at LI Retro Uplink August 8th. See you guys there.